it did not work. Neighbor dogs. Neighbor dogs. I love. They got 3 German Shepherds. They're gorgeous, but they are they are loud. Mo has been sleeping on the couch because they're loud, and our bedroom window is right above. Our bedroom window is actually further out this way, so our yard is over here. But then the bedroom is above a little bit, and so the dogs are loud. But what I was trying to say in the last feed was I'm not going to do my typical Memorial Day thing, where I go to the cemetery. I'm just not going to do it because it puts me in a bad state of mind. So I just decided I would do a live feed with you guys here this morning. Wish you all a good Memorial Day weekend. But please try to remember what Memorial Day is about. It's not about just hanging out and drinking beer and stuff like that. It's about, remembering the people who gave their life for this country. So it's just one of those things. Hopefully this feed works better. I'm not sure if it was an issue with my Wi-Fi or what, but it just didn't look like people could join. It looks like there's people able to join now. So we got that out of the way. And I know that I did that last live feed, and I had been drinking, and we hung out, and I talked about a bunch of stuff. That feed did not work properly for some reason. It never fully loaded, and it was all really, really, really. It was weird. It just didn't. Yeah, is it working fine? It wasn't working fine here. Like it tells me now that there's still like no one here, which I'm fine with. But I want to have the interaction because now I'm seeing comments and stuff. So, but I did that live feed and it went down. I don't know. I didn't. But what I can think is the wife and I got rid of these. These are like disposable smoke detectors. I think one of these was beeping. I brought them in. I don't hear any beeping now. I brought these in. So I'm not sure what's going on with them. I see. Were you not able to get in before, Nightmare? Because I was having problems. Like it just didn't seem like people were able to get in. I've had this happen a few times on live feeds where a live feed will start and I see that there's one person and then there's no one. And then I see that there's thumbs up and it shows there's one person and then no one. And then I never get any comments. So YouTube is glitchy, for as much as they tout it and they've got some but they don't do a good job of maintaining their system. So just to see who all's here, there's only 2 people here then. Okay, if it's working, there's only 2 people here. Guys, I found something while we were packing out the house. Unpacking into this house, I should say. Which it's still bad. It's so much stuff still to unpack and get rid of. I'm going to make several trips to Goodwill. I'm probably going to go to Goodwill today with a carload of stuff. I am old enough that I remember when, yeah, I love this cup. I remember when cell phones didn't have cameras. I bought, it was not cheap either, a digital camera. This was called a Pashapop in Japan. And it connected to your cell phone, had its own batteries. The batteries have exploded in this years ago. I found this while I was packing. This went to an old AU phone that I had its own little thing, and you plugged your phone into it, and you used this, and it even had a viewfinder. It's in the trash now. I just kept that out just to show you guys that is something funny, that I'm old enough. I remember when phones didn't have cameras, and I found one of my own cell phones that was one of the first ones that had a camera that you could rotate. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I was thinking about it. I thought back to how crappy the pictures were on that phone. My phone currently takes better photos than any digital camera I've owned. It literally does. And I can do more with it than I ever could. I can film videos. It's just stuff. So back to this roll call of who all's here, because it's telling me there's no one here. I'm not seeing any people listed in the feed. I see 0 people, 2 thumbs up. And I'm just curious who all's here. I know I saw Bradley, I saw Nightmare, but I'm not seeing that it's showing that there's any people in the feed. So if you could just let me know who's here. I'm just curious, because these are things that I put in my feedback to YouTube when I have a feed like this and it tells me there's no one here. So, okay, you see 3 people. I don't see any. I see Zero. No, I'm sorry. Now I see one. One person, 3 thumbs up. That's, I mean, I'm not seeing what you guys are seeing, and it's frustrating because 3 watching, huh? Okay. I broke out my espresso and cappuccino machine. And I had been making my own cappuccinos because I like a good cappuccino, and I don't like flavor it all up, and it's all right. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I just was curious because I'm gonna definitely cite this feed and tell them that I'm not seeing. You know, I give them feedback all the time. They have a feedback thing, I use it. So, hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing, man? I see your. Is it your brother Robert that I see on Facebook? I worry about him. He puts up. He's in kind of a sad place. Tell him I think about him. It's either you or your brother. One of the two of you is has been kind of in a bad place emotionally. Tell him to take care of himself. Whichever one of you it is. I see somebody's post on Facebook. I think it's Robert. I think it's your brother Robert. Yes. So when I tell you guys that I care about all of my subscribers, it's not a joke. I care about every one of you guys that are subscribers. That's why it's a tight-knit group. Even though we don't see the views that a bunch of the other channels do, I actually give a crap about the people that watch my channel. So at any rate, I got my cappuccino machine out, and I was doing cappuccino. So you know when you make a cappuccino, you got to make the espresso, and then you got to put it in a cup, and then you have to froth the milk, steam the milk, and then you put it in the cup. But I started by accident. I'm like, why am I doing this like this? Why am I taking so much time? So what I'll do is I'll make the espresso and I'll leave it in the thing, and then I steam the milk in this cup, and then I pour the espresso on top. And inadvertently, I made a macchiato. So I don't know if you guys know this about all these fancy foo-foo drinks that you buy at Starbucks. Do you know the difference between a cappuccino and a macchiato? It's the order that you put the two together. Basically, that's what I could find. It does taste different. I do have to say it does taste different. I don't know what you get by pouring the coffee through the milk or the milk through the coffee. I don't know what that difference is, but it definitely tastes different. But mainly I was doing it because that way I don't have to have a second cup. One less thing to wash. But yeah. They taste different though, Bradley. They definitely do taste different. It has a different flavor profile. I don't know. I don't even put sugar in mine. Mine is just, I think somebody told me that like what I'm making is like a flat white or something like that. I was like, no, I'm just making froth milk and putting some coffee in it. But yes, I do have an espresso machine. So... No, it's been interesting, this move. Okay, so I know the owner of Black Rifle Coffee Company. I do. I talked to him. I know Evan and Jeff was the other owner at one point. Jeff, who is now Ready Man Group. I do know them, and I have tried the Black Rifle coffee, and I like it. It's getting it here, it's just easier for me to go to Kroger's and buy a thing of Kroger's breakfast. Ralph here. If you're on the East Coast, it's Kroger's. If you're in Ohio, it's Kroger. Out here, it's Ralph's. And if you go to Ralph's, they have Kroger's breakfast blend, which if you're making a pot of coffee is amazing. But my wife hasn't been drinking much coffee. I only have been having maybe 1 or 2 cups of coffee a day. I don't have the Keurig anymore, so I broke out the espresso machine because I knew that I could make myself a cappuccino and I have my coffee. Black Rifle Coffee Company, I like their coffee. Death Wish coffee, I don't need that much caffeine. Like I said, I've gotten to where I only have 2 cups of coffee a day. I'll have that one. I may make another one here in a little bit. And if I'm really run down come this afternoon, because we're unpacking today, the wife's off today, we're unpacking. I got underbid on a contract, so I'm not doing any contract stuff this week. So what was that again? Okay, so it's you. I couldn't remember you or Robert. Chris. I couldn't remember if it was you or Robert. And I just, like I said, if it's you, man, take care of yourself. You know how to reach me if you need to. Like I said, if you guys follow me on Full 30, I did a video about 22 a day that absolutely would not be acceptable on this channel. I espouse things about the way I feel about the way that veterans are being treated, that just YouTube would not let it go up. It would be taken down. Just regardless of the fact it was a truthful statement. But that goes along with anybody that I'm friends with. If you ever need anything, Chris, you know how to get a hold of me. You've done it before. I gotta wind that cuckoo clock. That cuckoo clock, when it starts to wind down, you can always tell because the cuckoos get faster, closer together. And unlike a grandfather clock, this is not a 4-day clock. This is a 24-hour clock. It wasn't the swearing. I was talking about the current state of the COOF pandemic and how it has affected veterans, which, guys, this is still like, we finally got this. Like, I drug this in by myself while my wife was at work. I got rid of probably, this thing was completely full of DVDs all the way down to there. DVDs, and so was this. And so I got rid of $500 worth of DVDs at least. There's my signed Ricky Gaunt picture. And so this was about, like, I was talking about how, like, 22 a day and my thoughts on the pandemic, and they would not let that video go up here. But back to the thing that I was saying, Chris, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm here. I'm here. You can always get a hold of me. So, I got a fire table. I had a little fire last night. I was burning up some furniture that I don't. It was a old computer desk, and I thought I'll just burn that up. But it was that cheap particle board, and it stinks when it burns. And I feel bad having done it. I burned up basically just a drawer and a shelf yesterday. And I burned all those pieces. I was like, man, that really stinks. That doesn't smell good. That's unpleasant for my poor neighbors. So we won't be doing that again. And it burned down in a weird way. So now I got to get rid of the ash out of the fire table. And I don't think we're going to have a fire for a while. My wife was like, the whole house smells like smoke. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to figure where that table needs to be so it doesn't blow right into the house like a wind tunnel. Because unlike our house before that had zero air moving, there's always air. Like, it gets breezy in here. Like, it blows stuff around. Any room you're in this house, you lay a piece of paper down, it's going to blow around the room. And it gets, I'm not going to lie to you guys, it gets about 10, it's about 10 degrees cooler every day so far. It's been about 10 degrees cooler here than at the place we were at before. And I'm literally 11 miles south, 7 miles as the crow flies from the old place. I'm just a little closer to the ocean. And I mean, I can walk, if we were to walk out. So let's look here. If you look past my recycling and the stuff that's being stored here while we're trying to figure out where we're going to put it, there's a road right over there. I've went up there twice now and just watched sunset on the ocean just from up there. And it's gorgeous. And I posted on Facebook a picture of the sunset from our street down towards the switchback of the block. So this is a really, really nice, yeah, it's so much more open and there's so many more windows and doors, and we actually get air moving. And that other place, no matter what I did, you could not get any air moving. You couldn't get, the place always felt dark and dingy, and you couldn't air the place out, so it always smelled stale. I mean, the entire time we lived there, for the majority of, like, when it would be cool and damp through that part of the year, I'm like, the house stinks. And nothing I did. I cleaned the carpets. I vacuumed. We cleaned a lot. And I vacuumed and I cleaned the carpets probably once a week. And it still smelled stale and dank, and the furniture smelled. And I was like, what in the actual hell? So now that we're here, I'm like, I think that the way that house was built, and there was probably, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know, but there was probably some sort of mildew or something in that old carpet that was in there that we never changed the carpet. I never had the money to do it. So People that bought it, really happy with it. They basically didn't even literally. I was like, I drained the carpets. There's still some stains, and they're like, don't worry about it. We're gonna remodel everything in here before we even move in. And I was like, oh. I spent an entire 10-hour day just cleaning the house. They're like, all you had to do was just get stuff out. We would have been fine. They do like the cupboards though. The lady that bought it, her and her husband, she wanted Nico's contact info because there was a couple cabinet doors that Nico and I just didn't get to. Nico didn't charge me a penny for any of that, and it was a lot of work. And I guarantee it was a lot of work and a lot of materials, and it was expensive. And he did it for me for free, like a gift. And I told him, I was like, don't worry about those. We're not doing anymore. We did what we did. It looks good. Don't sweat anymore. And we just left. There was like 2 cabinet doors, and we didn't do any of the drawer faces. So it was just, I just felt bad because I didn't realize until we talked about like how much time he got into it and what the cost of the paint, everything was. I was like, oh wow, I didn't even think about it being that. I figured that it was just stuff they had on hand. No, he ordered special stuff. Guys, there's 6 people here now. I can see it now. Does it say 6 for you? Because it says 6 for me now. So I think I caught up. But there's only 3 legs. But that might be incorrect. I should make another. I don't need another cup of coffee. But no, like I said, I bid a couple contracts. One in San Francisco, one in Costa Mesa. And I got underbid on both of them. So I mean, I basically have to wait until the next contract comes up. So it does not look like I'm going to make any money this month. The membership stuff. Guys, if you watch this channel and you enjoy it, there's a membership down below that you guys can join. I haven't seen any growth in the memberships at all. I'm not going to say like, hey, you guys are screwing me and shit like that. I'm just saying that the revenue that this channel makes is what makes it possible for me to do things. Right now, I'm not making enough revenue on the channel, and with not making any money this month, I'm not going to be able to make any plans to do anything. So if you do like the channel, guys, there's like 5 of you here, and if you want to do a membership, I know times are tight, but like I'm saying, like if you want to, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated if we could get the memberships up on the channel so that I can start doing more stuff. I have videos that I want to shoot, places I want to go, but it's kind of difficult. I can't justify taking a trip to Chris Reeve Knives when the channel doesn't make a car payment every month. I'm like, I can't take, a week and go and stay at a hotel in Idaho, like 3 days in a hotel in Idaho, 2 days travel. It's just, there's no way that Nico and I could do that, because the plan is Nico would probably go with me. I like little road trips with my little buddy, so that would be the plan since he is my channel manager. You're not allowed to. I know, I get it. Like I do know that I have some young members that young subscribers that what the hell was that? That would have to ask permission and things like that. I'm just saying, like it greatly helps. Tripod, the microphone. I don't know if you guys saw the video yet. I don't remember if it went up. I have a couple videos now that I've shot with the wireless lapel mic, so that the audio, while it's not the greatest audio, it's consistent. It doesn't, like, I don't know if you guys have noticed some of the videos when I'm over the item, it sounds weird because I'm moving around. That allows me to move around the camera and not have the audio change. It sounds a little more consistent. So you guys bought that tripod, the ring light. I'm about to get a bigger and better ring light, a larger one. I'm gonna get it ordered. There's been a couple things that I have gotten put on hold and on, like, in the cart in Amazon for the channel. So yeah, it's just little things like that I can do now. I mean, and I can do it now, but like bigger stuff, like taking a trip, like I said, to Idaho to go see Tim and Ann up at Chris Reeve Knives, or the big one I would really like to do someday. The channel, if it makes enough money, there will be a trip to go visit these gentlemen and just talk about, person to person, talk about their knives. I want to do the same thing with Rick Hinderer. I don't know if you guys know this. Rick Hinderer is a fellow Ohioan. The video that went up yesterday was the Hinderer XM18's first impressions. Really surprised. It's my worst performing video of the year. It literally is the worst performing video of the year. It has the least numbers. I figured that would be a big, a big video that people would enjoy. I've never done a Hinderer on this channel, and I was just really kind of surprised. It's weird how things work out, but then again, I'm not gonna lie, I have said a bunch of things on Facebook that may have dropped my social credit score, that may have gotten me pushed under the carpet here on YouTube. Hang on a second, I gotta fill this glass up. That's the only bad thing about these fancy cappuccinos, macchiatos. Just drink regular coffee. You get done, it was just coffee. But when you have that frothed milk, it just leaves, it's like meringue. You ever get meringue on something and let it sit too long? You need a chisel. So yeah, that was a weird one. I'm trying to figure out the algorithm and stuff, because I keep an eye on my stuff on analytics. Now this move has been really hard. I haven't even broke my computer out. I have a video I have to shoot about the shirts, the co-branded shirts with Ember Shirt Co. You've heard me talk about it a bunch of times. The shirts are here. I just can't film right now. There's just no way for me to do it and have it be a decent, clean video, because I just don't have an area to do it in right now. I could do it out in the yard, but I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't like the way the yard is right now. There's a lot of stuff on the actual slab, the concrete patio slab, that's meringue. Meringue is what's on top of like a lemon meringue pie. It's whipped egg whites with sugar, and then you bake it. But if you get it on something and you let it sit and it dries before it just. You ever had a lemon meringue pie where you got the lemon pie and then it's got like, it looks like whipped cream on top, but it's not. It's like a sweet foam, almost like a marshmallow, but not quite. It's like a really disappointing French marshmallow. Just like French people. Just generally disappointing. So if you get meringue, then that's basically what it's like. So, other good points about this place, guys. Remember I told you guys I was stationed at Expeditionary Combat, which is down at it's like the outlying field area. I'm literally 5 minutes from there. The gas station, commissary, exchange, gym. So that is a bonus, because when my wife needs something, she's like, oh, we're at a half and half. I'm like, got it. She's like, oh, don't go to Ralph's. I was like, I'm not going to Ralph's. I'm going to go to the exchange. I'm going to go to the commissary, because it's so much cheaper. There's no tax. Like I had so much stuff the other day and came home with it, and it was like $70 worth of stuff. She's like, because at the other place, we would have to go to the main base, the 32nd Street commissary. And it's so crowded, and it's such a big area, and it's just full all the time. Like I've stood in the checkout line at the 32nd Street commissary for 30 minutes. I've had stuff that I was like, there's times I was like, kids got to come with me. And that's only because there's stuff that I have to wait until we're almost through the checkout line for her to go get ice cream and frozen stuff. Because there's times that checkout line is so long that if you put it in your cart and then walk around the store and then get in the checkout line, that your stuff's gonna be melted, because you're looking at like 30 minutes around the store and then another 30 minutes in the checkout line. I've never seen more than like 12 people in this commissary, and it's big. It's like your average grocery store size. It's an actual full-on base commissary. And I'm like, I'm digging this. And it's always just old people, just old retirees just hanging out. I was there a couple days ago. I went to get some stuff to make sandwiches, ham and cheese and stuff like that. And there's these two old dudes in the middle of like the deli area, just talking. They got their carts pulled up against each other. They're talking. I was like, oh, that was my last dude. These guys must have been in their 70s. Just typical sailors, just telling sea stories. One guy's telling I was stationed there, and this and that. He's like, I saw the hat. He's like, that was my last duty station. And then the other guy was like, oh yeah, I was stationed there for like 6 years and da 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 da. And he's like, yeah, I met my wife there. She taught me a lot. I don't speak as much Japanese. And I was like, no, everyone knows about it. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. It's just, it's far enough out of the way for most of the other people that they're not going to go there. It is literally a pain to get to. So if you're over on like the actual downtown San Diego area where 32nd Street is and you live in that area, you would have to go across the bridge onto Coronado, then go all the way down the Silver Strand to Imperial Beach, and then go on to Outlying Field down at Coronado, 13th Street and Coronado. If you are in Chula Vista, you have to go all the way down the 805 to the 905, down the 905, back onto the 5 to, I think it's Imperial Avenue or Coronado Avenue, and then go left. I just happen to be right on the 905, one exit, two exits from the 5, which is one exit from Imperial Beach. I'm literally 5 minutes from there. And the other thing is, too, I have direct access to the 905, drops onto the 805. I shoot straight up when I take my kid ice skating. Like, I take her all the way up to UTC sometimes. We went yesterday. It didn't add a minute. Like, it literally took me the same amount of time because I was not having to go surface streets onto the 54, which is always crowded and congested. And then, because the 54 is an east-west connector between the 805 and the 125 and the 94 and the 8. So it's an east-west connector, so it gets congested and it's narrow. So I just shoot the 905 straight onto 805, straight north. It took me 30 minutes to get to UTC, which usually took me about 30 minutes to get from the old house, dealing with all the stoplights. Even though we were right on the 54, I had to go up stop sign, stop sign, stop sign, stoplight, stoplight. Then I'm on the ramp, and then I have to deal with the congestion on the 54 and slow people, and I'm just a lot happier down here. It's so much more quiet too. So many more less. So many less sirens and all that stuff. It's like, listen, all of my windows are open. Do you hear anything except maybe the neighbor's dogs? Remember how loud it was when I would try to do videos at the old house? Nothing. Let's go outside. We'll go outside now. My neighbor across the street is also my landscaper, and my landlord pays from how far from the highway? I'm literally 30 seconds. If I go out, I turn right, I take the road right there, that road dumps right onto, it smells so much cleaner down here too. Look at that, and a big ceiling fan. So, hear it? Hear how quiet it is? We couldn't have done this. If your cars, because like I said, I am close to the surface street. But you know what's not down here? The other place, I liked some things about it. The other place was like within walking distance of a grocery store. I could literally walk to the grocery store or Ralph's. I mean, yeah, those those tall trees, those big pine trees block a lot of the sound. They really do. There. So you guys didn't get to see completely. Those are in my yard. Those are my rose bushes. I do feed the stray cats because you guys know I like cats. This is all in my yard, all 4 of those. And there's the fire table, and I got to clean that up. And I'm an idiot. That is way too close to the fire pit. But yeah, now the dog has a yard. She loves going out and laying in the sun. But yeah, I don't get all that noise. I don't hear sirens and stuff all the time. And a lot of it was, there was a lot of stores really close, which gets you a lot of additional traffic that we don't get here because you have to drive. the nearest not base grocery store is, there's a Vaughn's. You go up to Palm. So if you go, and I can take the surface streets up, it's actually faster than getting on. You can go this way, you can go 905 to the 805 and get off on Palm. And there's a Walmart and a Vaughn's and a bunch of stuff up there. But I can actually take the surface streets there, and it's a lot faster. There's a lot of echo, but it just doesn't seem to be the same echo. And there's no carpet. So having a pet, carpet, no matter what you do, carpet. I was talking with my buddy about this. He bought a brand new house. He had the house built. He bought a brand new house and in Alabama, and he has had it for 2 years. They tore the carpet out. He goes, you would not believe how much dirt was in that carpet. He said, I cleaned it weekly with an actual carpet cleaner, like a really good one. He was like, you'd be amazed like how much dirt was under that carpet when they picked it up. And he goes, and you could smell it. He goes, and so he's like, they took out the, I got some news updates. They took out the carpet and put down composite flooring because he's like, it's easier. He's like, I just need a dust mop. Just need a dust mop a couple times, 3 times a week. He's not a mop once a week. He says, it's great. This house, all composite flooring. Did you guys get the full tour? Would you guys like to have, like, I know not everybody got it, but there's 10 people here and only 7 likes. So if you do like these videos, do it. But like I said, this guy over here, that's my landscaper, drives a Porsche. So most of this stuff all goes in these shelves that are over here. And then we got most of this stuff. If the last time you guys remember, this was all still full. Most of this stuff has been picked up and moved. And then this is all stuff that's going to go in storage because we haven't even used the storage room, because under here is all storage and it goes all the way back to here. And you can actually go all the way through there. So we haven't even started putting stuff in storage. I'm not sure where the Budweiser light is. Most of that stuff is all going to Goodwill. Lots of storage, downstairs closet. Since we don't have as much storage as we did in the other place, now there's an echo in here. This half bath has got all this storage area. So there's a lot of, there's knife giveaway stuff, just basic supply stuff, all in this big, this is a really big half bath for the downstairs bathroom. And then, like I said, we get the big yard, but there's storage here. This isn't going to be here. This is going to be in the garage. This TV is going to be in the garage, but there's this whole area here with a light. We can store stuff up here. You can actually cut back around and go from, Jesus, it's cold. It's 68 degrees today in this house, and it feels so much colder. All this stuff, like my CPAP supplies and stuff. So then, dining area. This is going to go in the garage. Not the dog. She actually is able to rest. She got some I don't know if I told you guys about how much she licked her feet. We couldn't figure out what was going on, and no medicine we gave her ever worked. And she took Benadryl, and she took all kinds of other allergy medicines and stuff like that. They gave her a shot yesterday that's supposed to stop that itching for like 8 weeks. She hasn't slept well for so long. She's just laid there and slept all morning. Like I had to wake her up to take her out. So anyway, you go up the steps. We got all this storage that we made. So all that stuff that used to be on the dresser in my master bedroom at the old place is here now. So all my memorabilia from Japan, these Good Luck Okinawa dragons that my buddy Angel gave me, actual swords. This was a gift from my brother-in-law. These are all the names of the Buddha. And let's see what else. Swordfish bill that's going to get turned into knife handles. And you got all this area up here. And you come up here and like I said, you've got this big, it's so open. We can hang, these actually got washed. This is where they're hanging to dry. Actually, this is still here because we used this to pull furniture up and over. The balcony. Gun safe is here now. Daughter's bathroom. Storage room / office. I'm just gonna I have to put a computer in here. Legally, I have to have an office. Technically, I'm meeting that requirement. The only thing we can use this for is office space, gun cases. This dresser is gonna be in here with stuff that we very rarely wear. We got storage all up here. Cowboy hat that I won. Laundry chute. Daughter's room. We're not going to get into that. My daughter's room is her room. Let her deal with it however she wants. But then we have the master bedroom, which, like, our old master bedroom was massive. You guys remember how big my master bedroom was. I had, like, a love seat and all that stuff in it. Significantly smaller, but I still need to dust all this stuff off. My wife just does not know how to close drawers properly. I got to dust all this stuff off a little bit because it got dusty in the move and it got scratched. But then we have our TV and stuff. Oh, yeah, it's in my daughter's bedroom. I'm still trying to figure out all my CPAP stuff and where I'm going to store stuff. But then we have this nice master bathroom with the 2 sinks. And we're still trying to get this all put together. But I have my own shower. My wife does not like this shower. So basically, I'm the only person that uses this nice shower here. So there you go, house tour. I just can't remember if we actually did it. I know we did it once, but like it was so full of just crap at the time. Like everything was just laying around all over the place. So yeah, I mean, it's all composite flooring. So all I have to do is like mop this like a couple times a week and it's freaking great. And even though that I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm making another trip to Goodwill today when the wife and kid get back because Goodwill opens at 10. Well, I mean, I closed the bathroom door, Nightmare. So it's a matter of like just getting the stuff in. And like I said, I've been going through stuff. We went through a bunch of stuff yesterday. I found an entire box of 35 millimeter film. I have no idea what's on it. The wife was like, oh, we could still get them developed. I'm like, where? I mean, like at this point, if you use actual film, it's hard to find someplace that will actually develop film. You got to like send it off somewhere. And I don't even know about places. I don't even know about any places that have something like that. So it's something that it's an outdated medium. Physical medium, I wish that we still were going with physical medium on some stuff because it gives you a physical, like if you've got stuff stored on your phone and on the cloud, if your phone craps out and it's not on the cloud, it's gone. Using physical media is, they want to say it's a thing of the past. I personally, like if any important stuff, I write stuff down. I just write it down because, you know, physical media is important. Because look at it this way. When was the last time you saw anybody that was able to take something off of one of the big floppy disks, the true floppy disks, right? Or the 3.5-inch hard-sided floppies? I threw away probably 100 of them in the move. I don't know what's on them, and there's no way I'm ever going to find out. You can't really find CHUTE, not SHOOT. Shoot, not shoot. Sorry, I'm a grammar Nazi. Fun fact, the guy that proofread Hitler's speeches, actual grammar Nazi. Truth. I've always liked that joke, and I didn't execute it well, but it was funny for me. So suck it up, Buttercup. Um, I don't think I don't think that there's not a Radio Shack anywhere here in San Diego. Ah, shoot. Yeah. There's not one here in San Diego. I got to. You guys can't see this, but that's what was making my back hurt. There's a big, heavy lead injection device. Because I think that home invaders suffer from it's a medical disorder. When somebody invades your home, it's a medical disorder, and that medical disorder is a lead deficiency. And I have a device that can cure them of that issue. No, I don't. If it doesn't start with 4, it's not enough bore. I do not own a single 9mm. Not a single one. I don't like 9mm. I mean, I know that they say, oh, well, there's the new rounds that are every bit as effective, and I do not agree. I don't like them. I personally like 40 and 45. These are the I'm not trying to tickle you out of my house version of the 40. 40. So, what was it my dad used to say? Is like 45 for those who choose to only shoot once, 9mm for those that sit to pee. Okay, hey, I wanted to talk about something. I was on Instagram and Artisan put up, you guys know that the black sea snake has come out. Artisan put up a post about it, and a guy came out, yeah, lead injector. A guy came out and he was like, well, is the tip gonna break off this one? And I was like, I've been using the prototype that I was given before they ever even sold a single one for over a year. And I've never had an issue with the tip. And I was like, well, a lot of times the fact is that people will misuse a knife and then want to blame the product. I was like, if you're prying on or using it with a screwdriver, of course it broke. And he was like, well, I dropped it on the floor. He's like, and I don't even have granite floor. I've got like crappy old cheap tile. And I'm like, crappy old cheap tile is still ceramic. If you dropped it tip down on, yes, of course the tip broke. And he goes, well, I've had cheaper knives that didn't. I was like, probably because they weren't heat treated properly and they just rolled over. I was like, you can't blame. I was like, so you're going to go out and you're going to blame the item and injure the sales of my design when you obviously are the one that did it. You can't blame the item. And he was like, well, I've done this. And I was like, guys, I have dropped much, much, much more resilient steel than AR RPM 9, because as much as I like AR RPM 9, it's not a super steel. It's not meant to do that. And that blade is ground so thin on the Sea Snake. I dropped my 940 on the tile in this house and had to go and repair it because I had dinked up the entire tip. Like, I had to add a new tip to my 940 at this house. By the way, I've got most of my sharpening stuff out. I just don't have a place to do it yet. Because my wife told me I was not at all allowed to have sharpening stuff in this kitchen. So I did it in the yard standing up to fix that knife. So I know that a lot of you guys are asking about sharpening. I just can't do it yet. I don't have my workbench excavated. I have to continue the excavation to get to my workbench so that I can put my stones and stuff in there. At any rate, so this guy keeps going off about like how it was the knife's fault. And I was like, bro, don't blame the item because you are stupid. Like, that irritates me so much about people. And a guy was like, well, I tightened the pivot down and now I don't have the action on my Grimsmo Norseman. And I'm like, loosen your pivot up. I talked about that in the video. I only tighten a pivot down to where I lose blade play in all directions. And then I check my action. I might go just a tiny bit and see if I still have the action. And that's where I stop. You don't have to grill it. Not everything you crank down all the way. The reason that screws work is they have an amount of compression generated by the threads. And these Grimsmo Norseman threads are really tight and fine. And so it doesn't take much for you to crank that down past where it was supposed to be. What I've done is I have the milling, the scratch pattern on this. I remember about where it's at. So I crank it down till I lose it, and then I just put it where it was at. I need to put more blue Loctite on this. I've taken it apart a couple times since that video. And these aren't the original bearings. Did I tell you guys the story about the bearings? I took the knife apart. I put the bearings in a bowl, and my wife proceeded to I put them in a bowl of alcohol to clean up the bearings, and I was just going to come right back. And my wife dumped them down the sink, and then had pushed a bunch of eggs and stuff. She didn't. It was not her fault. Didn't even see them. She just dumped a bowl in the sink, did some dishes, and ran the dishwasher and completely destroyed the bearings. The bearings that are currently in this, since they are exactly the same size. Like I checked them out. I put them up against the scratch pattern in the bearing track and everything. And I was like, okay, they're the same. But they are not anywhere near as smooth as the Grimsmo bearings. So at any rate, John and Eric and Fraser are sending me a set of bearings. But these aren't the actual bearings for this. And it doesn't have the same feel. It definitely doesn't. So at any rate, like I said, like, I don't crank everything down. You can get away with that on a Sebenza, sort of. I can actually over tighten a Sebenza to where it's a two-hand opener. But I don't recommend it. Like, I was just making a point that I could do it. It was like, oh, you can't over tighten a Sebenza. I'm like, yes, you can. You can. I absolutely can do it. So that always just irritates people. Like, well, this and that. And the only knives I've ever seen that you really have a hard time doing, and you still can, are the ones that the Ferrum Forge boys make, because all of their stop pins and everything are shouldered. So, like, they only will go, like, the frame comes up and it squishes up against that shouldered stop pin, and all their hardware is shouldered to give it, like, that's what sets your distance. So, like, you can, if you really, really try, over tighten a Ferrum Forge, but it's way harder to do than a lot of other knives. And so on this knife, you can actually do it because there's a lot of distance between these, which are shouldered, and then your stop pins really aren't as shouldered as like theirs are. They're just a pin. So that's a lot of distance where you can actually deform and squeeze in that titanium and screw up your action. So, I mean, not everything needs to be cranked down. I've told a bunch of people this when send me knives, oh, my knife this and my knife that. And I was like, you just over tightened it. And it's just one of those silly, silly things that people do. But then they want to blame the designer, or they want to blame everyone but themselves. I can't do it. Elliot won't do it. The Minax is a WE knife design. That is, Elliot designed it, but that is 100% a WE knife company. Elliot, this is the thing that people get confused about. If it is a Ferrum Forge design, but it has the WE logo on it, Elliot has nothing to do with that. He's hands off. He has nothing to do with the warranty. That's it. You have to contact WE about that. But I would say, I doubt if you actually cracked your detent ball. That's kind of hard to do. I have done it. But what I would say you probably did was you dropped it. If it's got a spot where it just feels like a tick, 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 you probably dropped it and it hit the lock bar and it smashed the lock bar into the detent track, and now you have a little dent, a little divot in the steel, because the ceramic is way harder than the steel. If it's just a matter of a small area where you get a tick, 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 tick when it rolls past, that is probably what it is. It is probably not detent, because if it was just the detent, it would feel gritty the entire way back and forth. If it was a rolling detent, which the Minax is not, it is just a pressed detent, you would feel it as it rolled, a tick, 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 until it locked up, and then it would just be. So it's like it has no detent now. Yeah, you're gonna have to send it back to WE. I would test out that WE Knife Company limited warranty. getting my Olight Balder RL set the way I want it. Had it in my waistband carry, and it bumps the light selector when I do that to the middle, which is light and laser. So yeah, We Knife Company has a really good warranty. I have a prototype. Mine is feeling like it has low or late detent, but that's only because when I refinished it, I didn't tighten the lock bar over as hard as I should have. We tint. Yeah, if it's just dropping out. Hey, it's Jim. What's up, Jim? Jim's in one of my live feeds. I feel honored. Did you get your knives back, Jim? I sent them. I want to say I sent them Monday or Tuesday. If you didn't get them, they should be on the way. Any rate, Jim's a friend of mine. But yeah, if it's there's a lot of things that can happen with detent. Mine is just weak because when I refinished it, I just didn't reset the lock bar tension quite over as tight. I have a tendency to be kind of reluctant to Elliot it all the way over, because if you've ever had a knife that Elliot built, if you have a Ferrum Forge knife, I can pick out of a lineup the ones that Elliot sent the detent on for the lock bar tension and the ones that Chris did, because like if Elliot did it, it's tight. Like you're like, oh God, I like that. I'm fine with that. I like a heavy detent and heavy lock bar. But I have a tendency not to want to go that far over with it because I'm afraid I'm gonna crack the lock bar. And Elliot gave me that Minax. It's a prototype. It was one of the first prototypes that he got. So it's a little bit different than the ones you guys actually see. There's been some minor changes to it. But he gave that to me as a gift. He was like, yeah, here, take this. Do a video. I've got so many things about it. I have a prototype Stinger. I have a prototype Minax. I have several prototype knives that Elliot's just given me. He's like, yeah, do a video about it when it drops. Carry this. You just keep it. And I'm like, you sure? He goes, man, I got like 4 others. He's like, that's not even the best of the prototypes. So love that dude. Elliot actually helped me come. Actually, Elliot came and helped me move, Jim. Like he was at my house pulling stuff up over them. We wouldn't have gotten my kid's bed in her bedroom if it wasn't for Elliot. He pulled that hospital bed frame, the Tempur-Pedic Ergo that my daughter has. That frame weighs, the motorized frame weighs like 300 something pounds. Elliot pulled it up over the balcony by himself, and me and my buddy Rich were like, oh shit, and took off and ran up the steps to help him, because I was sure he was coming right back over that balcony. He just got it up. He was like, just give me a second, boys, I'll help you get it in there. And I was like, that's not a normal human being. Like, I'm 6'3", 240 pounds. That motherfucker's a beast. Would never have bought my Fortis. I mean, never bought my Fortis or have known. Oh, okay, yeah. Jim's a good guy. Jim is a good guy. So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm gonna call this like 7 minutes. Got like 7 minutes left. I'm gonna call it. We'll do an hour. Mainly because if I do anything longer, that it takes like 2 days for it to render. I don't know what YouTube's issue is. Like when I film a live feed, like it goes up and it says that it's processing the HD version, and then it takes it literally 24 hours sometimes to go up to where you guys can actually see the comments. And I know that there's people watching this live feed and they're like, dude, this guy is just talking to himself. This guy's a psycho. But what they're not seeing is I'm talking to people like, I don't see anyone commenting. He's just talking to himself, which, I mean, those that know me, that's not that far off. So, what's everybody got? We got like 6 minutes. Like 6 minutes. Olight, guys, I have an Olight affiliate link in all my videos. There is a sale going on the 28th. I am just not going to be able, it's today. There's a flash sale. Well played, sir. Well played. Olight has a flash sale that goes on today. You might want to check the Olight website. Use my affiliate link that's in some of my other videos. I don't think it populates in the live feeds, but I have an affiliate link with Olight. Carol, who is my handler for the Olight affiliate system. She sent me all the information. They have a lot of really cool stuff. I just do not have time to shoot a video about it. I have to do the collaborative shirts I have to shoot a video about the collaborative shirts with Ember. When Ember launches, when you guys see that video go up about the collaboration shirts, they are doing a huge giveaway, like $2,000 worth of stuff. They have a Medford. They're giving away an iPad. They're giving away a bunch of stuff. There's like $2,000 worth of prizes they're going to give away on launch week. So when you see the video go up about the Ember Co shirts, and I'm going to make sure that they have a link to it so they can publicize it as well. There's like 6 of us YouTube creators and influencers from other venues like Instagram and things like that. We all got collaborated shirts that have our logos on them, that have a design. I picked the sea snake because Justin, the owner of the company, likes that knife a lot too. We picked that as the logo on my shirt. It's done in the old school fashion where you remember the old outdoor survival guides was like they would take a picture and then draw over it, because at that time, like, copying a picture wasn't really good for print. And so they would just draw it in black and white. It's that style. There's a lot of old military training manuals have done that way too. And it looks really cool. So they used my sea snake, my logo's on one sleeve, their logo's on the back. So, and they are really nice shirts, veteran-owned company, really great guys. I love Justin and all the guys up there at Fiberlight. And it's the same guys that own Fiberlight, by the way. So, the one that I have, Zach, it was tumbled in like synthetic sapphire balls for like a week. And it gives this weird, it's super polished, but it also has that weird, like, deep scratch pattern in it that's under the polish. And it's weird, like it's almost 3D. You just can't really wrap your head around what you're seeing. But that's what it was. They tumbled those blades, and they only did like 10. There's only like 10 or so of those knives with that finish. And I have one, and my friend Luke has like several. There were a couple people that had them refinished, and I was like, you shouldn't have refinished that one. Like, that was the rarest of all of them. So now you can kind of simulate that finish a little bit. I've done it before, but it doesn't quite come out. That would be something we'd have to talk about in a different... No, Michael, it does not come with loops for the sheath. You have to order them separate, but it's like $8. So you're looking at a sub $100. You're looking at a sub $50 knife. It might have been the first 25. I don't remember. So that you guys can see it. They tumbled the blades. I tumble a lot of blades. I do a lot of refinish stuff too. So this one, the finish is holding up fairly well on it. But soft loops for these. And if you guys haven't checked these out, I did a video, like an advertisement basically. I shot a commercial for the black version of this knife. And I like it. It is super cool looking. And it performs every bit as well. But you can see it's gotten a good bit of use cutting down cardboard and stuff like that here at the house. I like to test stuff. I was kind of concerned. PVD is not a coating. It is a process. You can PVD coat a lot of different coatings. I don't know what coating this actually is, but it is holding up fairly well. So it's not quite as resilient as the ceramic, more resilient than Cerakote. So no, I don't like DLC and I don't like Cerakote. I don't know what this coating is. It seems to be doing okay. I would prefer it to be the nano ceramic that I use, which does seem to hold up better, but this does not seem to be a slouch. So I've been using this one. I still use the prototype that I have the soft loops on and stuff like that. So soft loops, they're like $8, $9 on Instagram. They come in a set of 2. You only need 2, and they work really well. I believe I sent some soft loops to Jim with his. I gave him one as a gift. I don't remember, but they're really easy to attach. They work really well, and they're cheap. So we got just a few seconds left before I'm gonna get off of here. If you guys have not dropped a like on your way out, I'd appreciate it. Remember, if you want to join the channel, I have memberships tabs below. It helps out. It allows me to do stuff that I couldn't do without the support, because the ad revenue just wouldn't support any of the stuff that we do. It's the majority of it comes from the members. The DLC, if it's done well, it's not bad, but I've seen DLC rust through because it's not as like that black ceramic coat that Elliot and I do on stuff is impregnable. It is baked in there. It's all the way into steel. It permeates into the because you blast it first. It's a thicker coating than DLC, but not as thick as Cerakote. It's still really, really thin. You don't have to worry about it on threads and stuff like that. So I prefer that, but I do know that that's a time-consuming process to do. So, Jim, take it easy. Everybody else, take it easy. Jim, thanks for stopping in. I will talk to you guys later. There's a video that's going up Tuesday. I will try to shoot a video this week and maybe move something forward so that there's some content tomorrow. But I don't know. Like I said, Memorial Day weekend, I get in a funk this time of year. I've lost a lot of friends. 22 a day. Go to full30.com and find my 22 a day video. I would really appreciate it. I lost a friend here recently. I said 3 in the video. I'm at 4 for the year. That's almost 1 a month for the year of friends that have committed suicide because just coming home was just too much. There's a phrase that a lot of us with PTSD like to say. I'm going to try and get this out without crying. There's a lot of us that come home and realize that we were more at peace while at war than we are at home. So that's what Memorial Day weekend's about. You guys take it easy. I love you all. I'll see you next time.